Hey, we're at the Chill Bar for a celebration of life for Monty Rock III. Come join us. Come see. Hey, Lou.
Too loud. Tune it up.
Welcome.
Check.
Monty gave this to me.
It's okay.
Hi.
Long day in here.
That's it.
Is it better? Yes. All right. Thank you for coming.
The legend in his own mind.
And I'm going to go through my spiel. And we're going to have a few laughs. And everything I'm about to say, Monty has said to me at one time or another. Sir Monty Rock III. He was a con man. He conned all of us, and we knew that, and we loved it when he did it. He was a hairdresser. He was a disc jockey. He was a talent. He had no talent. He was a singer. He was Discotheques and the Sexolettes, and they sold 7 million records. Here's the gold record over here, Get Dancing, and funny thing about it is he never sang on that record. It was all talking, but it was a hit. I remember it. He was a recording artist. He was a thief. He was a modern day Robin Hood. He would come to my shop and, you got any old flowers? I'm Dave from English Garden Florist, so you guys know who I am. And I'd give him the flowers, and I would say, don't tell anybody where you got them. Because they would be old dead flowers. Of course, you go to the next place, well, this is my florist. You know. He would go to Debbie Gold's place next, and anyhow, that was Monty. He was a Puerto Rican. He was gay. He was straight. He was an entrepreneur. He loved that. He loved that saying. He was a columnist. Liberace stole his act. He came in the store one day all pissed off. Barry Manilow got my showroom. He was angry. He was an addict. He was an actress. He was a ticket master. And a lot of you know that you all got tickets from Monty Rock because he could do it. And he used to get so frustrated by that, everybody calling him for tickets. So when he would call me, I'd answer the phone, tickets. He was a talk show regular. He was on Johnny Carson, Merv Griffin. Johnny Carson, he was on there 86 times with reruns, but by now it's got to be in the hundreds. Funny thing about Johnny, Monty was on there so many times that one time Monty didn't have a telephone, and so he sent a runner to go find Monty to get him on the show. And then Johnny asked him, why did you keep coming back? And Monty said, well, for the $200 and the buffet. So I thought that was good. Also, Monty was on, I saw this on YouTube, it was his last performance he's done, giving up show business, and he sang My Way. And after he got done, Johnny Carson goes, wow, that was actually pretty good. So what do I do off here? I got so many things to talk about, I could be up here for a long time. He was a columnist, I said that one. He was a celebrity among celebrities. Everybody knew him. If Monty said he knew a certain celebrity, he did. He knew them. His shows, a lot of times his shows would open and close on the same night. Monty used to say that all the time. He loved that, and I love that too. He was a psychic. He was a comedian. He was a poet. He was a man lady. He was a true entertainment. He was a showman. That's what he was. He was an entertainer. Joseph Moses Montanez Jr., Sir Monty Rock, was my friend. I called him Joey. Supposed to be happy.
I know.
Yeah. So, Bob Dylan came home once. Monty was a very famous hairdresser. Bob Dylan came home once, and Monty was doing his wife's hair, and Bob Dylan thought Monty was trying to screw his wife, so he punched him in the face. Monty probably was. Went to the Tony Orlando show once with Monty, Wayne, and I. Tony Orlando comes out on stage. First thing he said is, "Lock the doors, Monty Rock's in the house." So he knew all these people. Frankie Valli, we met Frankie Valli backstage. Steven Tyler wrote about him in his book, and that was pretty interesting. Aerosmith, you guys know who Steven Tyler is. Something to the effect, they were like in the 16, 17-year-old age. There was 3 or 4 of them that came, and they ended up with Monty. And I guess they partied. They woke up the next morning, they all had different underwear on. So I don't know what Monty Rock did, you know. And then we got John Travolta here, a signed poster. And Monty always said, he's the one that made John Travolta gay. Spread the rumor. That's what he would say. So I don't know if he is or not. And then there's Bruce, Monty's husband, who's been gone for 10 years or so, right? Yeah. Monty would talk about Bruce to me like, I thought Bruce was an imaginary figure, because I never met him. And then I finally got to meet him, and what a really, really nice person he was. And I always told Monty, I said, you know what, I don't know why Bruce put up with you all these years. Because Monty was a pain in the ass sometimes. Royalty checks. Monty got royalty checks from Saturday Night Fever his whole life. I would cash them for him. They would be $30, they'd be $200, they'd be $700, they'd be $300. It was like that. You never knew however often it ran. And then within the past year, I cashed a royalty check from him from Miami Vice. I'm like, what? Apparently he was on a couple episodes of Miami Vice. So Monty did a lot of things that none of us really knew about. So Monty was my friend. I met him in 2003. Diane and I were at an event at the Sterling Club, and we saw Monty there. And he was holding court. He was on the couch, and all these people were coming up to him like, well, who is this guy? Who is this guy? Famous producer what, you know? And so Diane had to go back east, and I was invited to the Rat Pack show at David Reynolds Hotel, the opening. So I went there, and here's Monty Rock. I'm in the back. He's sitting all the way up in front in the booth. And all the same things happening. Same things happening. All these people coming up to him, and Monty's very perceptive. He was very perceptive. He could read people. He looked up. He saw me. He looked at him. He looked away. You know. So then he caught me again, looking at him, because this was a spectacle. Third time, here he comes. Circles around the room. Comes up to me. He goes, "When I make love to a man, it's an orchestration. It's an event." And he must have seen a certain look on my face. He goes, "Oh, I know you're not gay." So I told him who I was, and so on. And so he said, "Well, I'll come see you tomorrow. I'm going to bring you a gift." I'm thinking, yeah, right, whatever. So he calls me the next day, and he brings me a gift. He said, "I'm on my way, I have a gift." And he brought me this shoe shine kit. I still have it. And I use it. And from that day, I saw Monty Rock every day. Every day he made his rounds, he came to my store, every single day. And then, of course, it slacked off in later years to 2 or 3 times a week, and then one time, and then he quit coming. So, but I loved Monty every day. It was great. I never had a point where I said, "Oh no, here comes Monty again." Never did that. No, never. So Monty was pretty much bedridden the last 2 years of his life. Lucille and I were involved in taking care of him, and his wish was to die in his sleep, to die at home. I made sure that happened. My wish was that he would die in his sleep. That happened as well. So, all of these pictures that are here, I have a lot more of them. I have all of Monty's paintings and pictures. They're going to be hung in my store, so anybody wants to come and see Sir Monty Rock III, the legend lives on. You're welcome to come see him. It's going to be a month before I get those put up. I'm kind of busy. Monty Museum, yep. And I have his awards up here. He got the best dress of Las Vegas. I don't know what year that was. 2003. What's funny about that is he got the best dress. He beat out Steve Wynn that year. You know, Steve Wynn wears, whatever, $15,000, $20,000 suits, and Monty beat him. And then, of course, he got the most colorful character as well. He got that one twice. I have one of the awards here. So this is his gold record. And then this over here is a montage of pictures. Imagine a man his age sitting there and cutting out 30 or 40 pictures and pasting them all together. That was Monty. It's what he did. His gifts, we all got his gifts at one time or another. They were crazy. He went through the high-heeled Barbie stage. He went through the deranged baby doll stage. He went through the dildo stage. He did all of these things. And it depends on who he was getting them from at the time he made. That was his artwork. That was his craft. Zozo, his dog. I love Zozo. Monty left him to me in his will, and it worked out better that he be taken care of. He now lives with friends in Anaheim, California, right next door to Disneyland. 2 old maid ladies, and their whole life is now Zozo. So it's good. It's good. I mean, I wish I could have had him, but it wasn't gonna work out for Diane and I. So. At this time, I would like to introduce Monty's friend for 62 years, Lucille Fowler. Give her a hand.
Thank you, David. Great warm-up for an opening act.
I got two more things I'm going to share that I forgot about after Lucille's done.
Beautiful. Thank you. Okay. And I do water. I don't need this. And I'm not that tall. I don't really. Okay. That's really, I could sort of hit the back room without a mic, but it'll make it a lot easier. As a 16-year-old kid, I really need this.
Get behind the mic and get on the mic. They can't hear you in the back.
Okay. As a 16, I don't like it in front of me.
It's like an ice cream cone.
I don't like it. As a 16-year-old Broadway brat in New York City, Monty and I crossed paths. It was an amazing roller coaster ride through timelines and tight ropes and whoopsie-doos. I was, as I said, a Broadway brat. I was an actor.
Get in the mic, so they can't hear you. They can't hear you. Get in the
Eat
mic.
that thing.
Get in the mic. They can't hear you.
You can't hear me? Okay, how's that? Is that better?
Yeah.
Now you're getting right for my glass. Okay. As a young kid, a teenager, who the world was opening up, I was coming from a strong academic and controlled environment, and I was dancing ballet, studying with Lee Strasberg, doing off-Broadway modeling, and in walks Monty. Monty was my Joey. Monty was my great Gatsby, and everybody in this world should have a great Gatsby. He used to throw parties that were so magnificent, and he would love to watch everyone revel and get zonked out of their minds and just sit back and enjoy the whole scene. I was more the observer myself, like Gatsby's Nick, Daisy Buchanan's cousin, who came and is the voice of F. Scott Fitzgerald. But Monty had many, many, many phases in my life. He understood when my first engagement happened, and he said, marry him, marry him, marry him. You'll be a multi-millionaires. And I said, I don't love him. And I don't know, I'm too young. I haven't finished college yet. I haven't done this yet. I haven't tasted the world yet. And he said, okay. But he was there with me. He became part of my family, and my family embraced him greatly. Monty, his album, the one that broke records, Get Dancing, the music was arranged and composed by my cousin Bruce Miller. Monty was family. Monty was my guardian angel. He protected me from a lot of people who could have abused me and used me, etc. And he was like my bodyguard. He was incredible. An incredible person, an incredible man. We would do crazy, crazy things and laugh at people while we were laughing with them. There were times that Monty and I wouldn't speak for a while, and then, bingo, we were back together again. It was a relationship that broke all barriers, all odds. And I'm going to reveal something to you, this group that has gathered here today. And a few years after my husband passed, and Bruce had passed prior to that, Monty asked me to marry him. This is after a bromance, I call it, a brother and sister romance of all these years. And yes, Monty and I were intimate many years ago. And I know that's going to shock you, but Monty loved men, and he also loved some women. But we were a couple. I looked at him in the restaurant when he said, let's get married. And I said, Monty, I said, what? I'm a woman. And I thought again in my head, the line at the end of Some Like It Hot, when Joey Brown is with Jack Lemmon, and Jack Lemmon is taking off his wig, and he goes, you know, they're getting married, and he goes, but I'm a man. And Joey Brown goes, nobody's perfect. I said, Monty, I'm a woman. He said, I know, but I love you. I said, this is a lot for me to take after all these years. I'd say it was about 58 years of friendship at that point, and friendship with benefits. I said to him, let me think this over. I can't give you an answer right now. I was still in grief for my own husband, Ben, who was a federal agent. And the thought of it was just somewhere out in Alpha Centauri. What can I do? Well, I kept thinking about it and saying, he's my Gatsby, he's been my lifelong love. Not the same as my husband, who to this day I still feel I grieve for and miss him. But Monty said it wouldn't be a real marriage, it would be just, I'll be married. So at the place called the Americana on Desert Shores, I said, what you asked me for 3-4 weeks ago, I'm okay with. And we sort of left it at that. And so Monty was not quintessentially gay. He loved women, he loved men, he loved the beauty of life. He was a man who believed in the power of kindness. He was a man who was just an incredible, humane, humanitarian, humorist, and created havoc in the world. And I'm going to miss him so much that when I think about it, it stabs me in the stomach, stabs me in the back, but somehow it gives me a warm feeling all over that I was blessed of having Monty, my Joey from the Bronx, Lou from Brooklyn. 2 kids, 9 years apart, my older adopted brother. And it was a hell of a ride. It was the cyclone in Coney Island, the roller coaster going full warp speed. And Monty and me will always be. And last words, the night that he passed in his sleep, the night before when he was still cognizant, he said to me, he looked up and said, I love you, I love you, I love you. 3 times. Monty was 3 people. Joey, Mr. Monty the hairdresser, and Monty Rock the entertainer. But I knew that he always did. And so at this point, to my friend, I can't sing anymore. I became deaf from scuba diving for 40 years. But I'm going to do a version of something in words. He was my sunshine, my special sunshine. He made me happy when the world and skies were gray. He always knew how to make things work out. And in my heart, he'll always stay. I love you, big guy. I love you. I love you. God bless and thank you all for coming today. God bless you.
After me. I'm already up here, Lou. So Monty and Lou were kind of like brother and sister too. If Monty would complain about Lou, which he did sometimes, I'd say, Monty, you shouldn't have done it. All right, so Jim, this is my best friend Jim, who I met, no, not yet, sit back down. Sit back down. Who I met through Monty in 2003. We went through his garage, through his archives, and I have a lot. I got all of his press releases from 60s, 70s, all these things. I found two interesting things that I'd like to read. This first one kind of sums up the Monty that we know. It's from Saks. He's going after as soon as I get done, and he's going to come up. Saks Fifth Avenue. She's in a hurry. Saks Fifth Avenue. They're writing Monty a letter. Dear Monty, Mr. Kuby advised me he was writing you confirming the arrangements in connection with your employment at Saks Fifth Avenue. This is as a hairdresser. I asked him to please enclose this letter, which I am sending to tell you that the first day you appear in the department looking like a theatrical freak, you will be out on your ear. This is 1964. These are strong words, but our people must at all times look like bankers and businessmen. Conservative gray suits, plain white button-down collar shirts, and no jewelry, underlined. So there's our Monty. This is a big difference between calling attention and causing distraction. The first is okay, the latter is reprehensible. So there's a very derogatory letter that Monty got. This one here is from Universal Studios on their letterhead. Larry Becker, I'm not sure who he was, but he was somebody high up, I'm sure. It says, Dear Monty, I just loved your second show last night. You are really a terrific performer. You have a feeling for yourself as well as for your audience, and you select your material wisely. All the best for success in the future. Please keep in touch. Best, Larry Becker. That's cool. That's Monty as an entertainer, that's what he was. Who's coming up next? Johnny Katz. And then after Johnny, from the RHA, Johnny Katz. We talked. Yeah, we talked. So, and then after him, Jim is going to come up to, yeah. He's going to say, Jim is going to come up after him. Jim did the video montage that we're going to see today. And Jim was a great friend of Monty. He'll tell you more. So, all right, here we go.
Yes, I'm John Katsoulides. I cover entertainment in Las Vegas, and I'm honored to be here, and I'm humbled to speak on behalf of one of the true characters and icons that I knew in Las Vegas. You know, some meetings you just remember. You just remember what it was like, and I'll never forget when I met Monty. It was in January of 2000, and it was at the media event for the show At the Copa, starring Sheena Easton and David Cassidy at the Rio. And it was one of the first entertainment stories I ever covered. And I went to this thing, and David and Sheena were taking questions, and it was in the showroom there at the Rio. And on my way out, there was a guy behind me, and I was with a woman named Kate Maddox, who was a gossip columnist at The Sun. And she had just moved to Las Vegas, and we're prepping her to cover Las Vegas. She hadn't written anything yet, but she was going around and, you know, kind of tailing me a lot and learning about the city. She later became Kate Bennett and was on CNN for a while covering Melania Trump, and went on to a really great career. This is her first journalism job. So she's brand new in Las Vegas. I'm starting to cover entertainment. We go to this thing, and we're on our way out, and we hear this, hey you guys from behind us, hey darlings, and from behind us, and I look, and it's this man in a leopard hat, and as I remember, matching jacket, white pants, and he had a stuffed cat around his neck.
That's not what he called it?
It's not what he called it, is right. He said to me, his open was, hello, darling, do you want to pet my pussy? And I'm like, who might you be? He's like, Monty Rock, the magnificent Monty Rock III. And so I pet the cat, and we're still walking. And he takes that thing and bang against the wall on the way out. Meow! It has a voice box in her. He did it. It's like, that sound came out. Bing, meow! I'm like, wow. So we talk all the way out, and the next day, and Kate says, I gotta call my father about this. Her father was at the time a big political player in the Beltway in DC. So I called my mom the next day and I said, you won't believe this person I met here in Las Vegas. I only lived in Las Vegas for about 4 years at that time. And I said, who is it? And I said, it's a guy with the name of Monty Rock III. She goes, you met Monty Rock? I mean, well, don't tell me you know who he is. Oh yeah, the hairstylist on the Tonight Show. He's on like 80 times. He was Discotheques and the Sexolettes. He was in, she read what is now the Wikipedia for Monty Rock. And I go, you know him? Yeah, he's a DJ in Saturday Night Fever, John. Okay, now I met somebody here, okay? And so I kept seeing him out at these events. And over the years, I saw him at a lot of events. Monty and I never planned to see each other, but we saw each other all the time. And he's like, where are you sitting, baby? Where are you sitting, darling? I don't want to be seated with the bottom feeders. And I was like, get over yourself. He was writing his Gaming Today column, you know? And after we go to these events, he'd come up to me afterwards. What did you get out of that, darling? What does that take? Then he'd call me the next day. What do you got for me, baby? And I go, write your own column, man. I'm having enough trouble. So he was a media guy, and he was always out. And, you know, and I'd start getting messages from PR people in Las Vegas about the gifts that they get from Monty, the little gift bags. He'd either send them or he'd bring them over in his Ford Focus. You know this car I was talking about with the wrap on it? Real subtle vehicle. Even when this car was ready for the junkyard, it still had the wrap and Monty Rock III on it in that leopard skin wrap. I go, oh boy, Monty's here today. Yeah, because I was waiting to see that thing on a tow truck, you know. God, he was a character. He was leaving me messages all the time about, one thing he used to say to me. We did a couple of radio interviews when I was doing a show with a friend of mine named Tricia McCrone, who was Wayne Newton's sister-in-law. Wayne knew Monty for a long time too. It's called Cats with the Dish, and we did it like an hour one time with Monty, and really got into it with him. And he called me the next day. And he goes, "You really get me, darling. You really get me." It was like there was Monty Rock, but that was a character to me. Joseph Moses Montañez Jr. was the guy behind that. I really felt there was a duality in there, and he always used to say, you get me, right? And one time I was at a few years ago, it was probably a couple of years before COVID, maybe, it might have been 10 years. It was fairly recently. I was with my father, and we're going into Le Rev at Wynn Las Vegas. We're going to go see the show Le Rev. I was taking my father out, and I see up the walkway Monty, and he's walking toward me, and I'm with my dad, and I go, oh boy, this is going to be monumental. This is going to be interesting, because my dad's, he lives in Pocatello, Idaho, is a retired veterinarian and an innkeeper, We're standing there, and before I can say anything, he goes, hey, is that Monty Rock? And he starts walking toward Monty, and Monty, he'd never met Monty. And he starts saying, I know who you are. And of all the people my father met in Las Vegas, he knew a lot of people, he was excited to meet Monty. Same thing as my mom. And they got on great. We all went into the show, and I'm like, okay. I really appreciated the level of pop culture he had. He always said he was good at one thing, and that was hair. Everything else, he was a columnist who couldn't type. He said a singer who couldn't sing, had hit records. He wasn't a hit artist. And I understood that about him. He's always on his way to his next comeback. Monty was coming back. Seriously, it's going to be the Flamingo, or one time we're going to do a show at like Gold Coast and the Palms. I mean, all these ideas. I'm going to be the host of it, baby. And he was in a Legend show here one time. I think he hosted in the '60s. That didn't take. And at the end, we were talking, and those of us who knew Monty, it was in the air that we hadn't heard from him in a while. It was like, has anybody talked to Monty? There was a group of us who were trying to get to him, and I started calling him and leaving messages, and then the next message that I got about Monty was that he had passed. There was a feeling that he wasn't going to be around much longer, and I have a phone message from him from July of 24. Was his last message to me, and it was that thing. It's magnificent Monty Rock, darling. I'm making a comeback. And you're going to be the first to know about it. I go, Monty Rock, Monty Rock, Monty Rock, coming back. And that today, I'm thinking of that, the comeback that never was. But he certainly left an indelible mark on my life and my career. And there was nobody else like Monty Rock.
Hi, my name is Jim. I'm from San Diego. And I knew Monty, I met him in 2003. And we had a mutual friend. And when I first met Monty, he didn't know me. I was nothing, still nothing. And so I meet him and I said, what are you doing these days? And he goes, well, I'm a columnist, all this stuff. I said, and he told me he made all these records. And he said, all this stuff. And I said, well, where are the records? He goes, it's now out of print now. I said, well, we're going to make all your records again. And I took all of his records and I digitized them, and we made them into CDs. And he thought that was really cool. And what we did was made them into CDs, and I said, well, just give them to you and you hand them out for promotion. And I said, we're going to bootleg yourself, because all the people who own the rights to these music are probably dead anyway, or let them come sue us. We don't even care. So we made the CDs, and then I said, let's take all your stuff and put it on YouTube. This was like 2003, 2004. He says, yeah, that's a good idea. We had about all VHS tapes and all kinds of stuff. So we made YouTube videos, and if you go on YouTube now, you'll see so much, there's so much more. In the last 6 months, it has exploded how much stuff has gone on to YouTube. And it's amazing. There's like Geraldo Rivera with Monty at a nightclub in 1975. And if he made his movies, he made a movie called 2,000 Years Later. And if you have streaming services, if you have like any kind of streaming service, you can go on Tubi. I watched it the other night, and you can watch 2,000 Years Later. And it's a horrible movie. I mean, it's terrible. It's like jump cuts and everything, but the best guy in the movie is Monty. And it's, he plays like I can't remember the name of his character. I left my notes on the airplane. I couldn't look. But he named his character, and you'll see some clips from the movie, the stills, in the video. But he made all these movies, and he was just a wonderful person. And the funniest, he told me some stories I can't tell here, because, I know there's no children here, but I can't tell these stories anyway. But one of the funniest things he said to me, he says, I'm bisexual. And I go, bisexual? He goes, yeah, if you buy me, I'm sexual. And I said, that summed it up. Let's play the video. Brandon, if you could play your music.
Well, he's getting ready. I want to tell you guys that Monty, the last 2 years, he kept his humor all the way through to the end. He really did. I mean, all the way through. I mean, even Saturday, he died on a Monday. Saturday I saw him, and I had power of attorney over his life, I guess you want to say. And I said, Monty, because it was getting close, you could tell. I said, if anything happens, do you want to be kept alive and brought back? He said, no. Absolutely. I said, okay, go see Bruce then. But he smiled. So he still had his humor then. And then Monday, he was going, so I went to see him. Lucille was there as well. And he was pretty much gone at that point. I could tell, just wasn't much left of him, but he knew we were there, and like I say, he kept his humor all the way to the end, and I'm proud and happy to know that I knew the man. He was great. He was a good man. He really was.